how hard can it be to install a new head unit in your car? We're going to go through the removal, the new head unit, the wiring, the reinstallation, and the actual setup of the unit. New head unit is a massive upgrade, especially for older cars like this, because you can have things like Android Auto. You can use the maps from your phone to direct you wherever you're going. Spoiler, I'm recording this after I've already done the work, and this was one of my favorite, easiest, most beneficial, just most enjoyable mods that I've done to this car. So I would really highly recommend this one for you guys, especially if you haven't ever done much to your car. Let's get into it. I've got a selection of things. A big shout out to ATOTO for supporting this whole build. This is their X10 head unit, which I'll show you a little bit later, and is like the best thing you can basically put in the middle of your car. We've got some things to connect it, and they've also been very kind as to provide me with a front and rear camera. I don't know if I'll install those. It's a tiny car, it's not hard to park. I did this in the last video and I thought it was quite nice to give you a reference point for how long everything takes. So right now, sitting here with all the products in the boxes, haven't begun anything, 5:25. Odds on me getting this done before the end of the day, I think very little. So we'll see if we can make it happen. So the first step of this whole project is to remove this old shitty standard head unit. To do that, we've got to remove the center console, and to do that, we've got to... I think this just unscrews. I'm already feeling confident. I've done a thing. Right, so center console time. I think the first bit is this panel, which should pop off. I don't actually know why there's so many different trim tools. This looks like the most appropriate one to me. If you watch me struggling with something for the first time, you might feel better when you try and do it for the first time. Aha! Result. Do you know what? The first piece you remove always feels really good. Feels like we've begun. Do you know what? Opening this toolbox brings back horrific memories of being on the floor here and crawling around and trying to get the suspension to come apart. I do not enjoy that. I'm really, really hoping that this project is a lot easier. There's a little Japanese man somewhere that put this car together, and now fucking Mick is ripping it all apart. Oh yeah. Feels like there might be a clip under here somewhere. Oh yes. Do you know what? I changed the shifter in a Honda Civic once, and when I did some of this stuff, I just destroyed the interior. I think I cracked plastics and I broke all sorts of stuff, and this NC is really, really nice. So I'm trying my absolute best to be very, very gentle when I do this. This clip just won't pop out. Look how far I'm pulling it. Oh god, yes, good. This still feels connected. Aha! Turns out you don't need to actually remove the entire center console. You can just kind of prop it up and you get access to the two screws I need. Now, these side pieces. Some more screws down here. When these cars were first made, 2006 or whatever, it was very popular to steal stereos. So Mazda put a 10mm bolt that goes through here somehow. I think that's what I gotta get out next, because this doesn't seem to be moving. That's the ratchet I've got. That's the million extensions going into the ether. We're gonna get this bolt out. Okay, I don't even know if I'm including that clip. So I got the long 10mm, I then had a 3/8 extension, and then so I could use both extensions. This is a reducer to quarter, and then the quarter extension. The good thing about this is it bends a little bit, which helped me get around the corner. It's now done, so I think... Oh, I don't know. Whoa. Okay, we're there. We've done it. Good, 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 good. Let's get this guy out first, and then I'll show you everything about the new unit, all the cool stuff it comes with, and how to actually mount it up. This is actually an educational piece because there's a lot about these stereo units that's really interesting, at least to a nerd like me. Step one is going to be to unplug all these cables, and this one is cool because this is the microphone plug. And this head unit actually came with a microphone, and I believe I can reuse that in the new head unit too. Very cool. Like, why is that so difficult? Fucking come on. Yeah, you got it. Aha! That's the... Oh, it's the fucking AC controls that's bothering me now. So, let's do some maths. The USB we're not going to care about because the new one has a USB on the front. The AV in, God knows why we had an AV in. The GPS, if the plug is the same, I may reuse the GPS because then it will reuse this thing to do GPS. Radio is probably for the antenna at the back, don't care. Sense, I'm willing to bet, is the steering wheel controls, which we're going to lose anyway because I'm putting a new wheel. Mic we will have because we have this. Rest of it should be pretty straightforward. What's really cool about these stereos, right, is that essentially this main cable, this will be a Mazda cable, and this has connections to the speakers, the power, everything that you actually need for audio. And what's beautiful about new head units is they have a universal adapter. So all you need to do, all these plugs here will go out to the car and all its systems. So you leave that in place and you just get an adapter to plug into here that will then plug into your new stereo. It just mates it all together and it works lovely. You can find those for basically any car. And that just means it's fairly painless to swap one of these radios. You don't need to do any wiring and all this other bullshit. Literally, you just buy the new radio, buy the adapter, plug them all together, plug them into this loom, and away you go. If you want the steering wheel controls, you probably need an adapter for this Sense thing, which is, I don't know, one of these. We're making some progress. I've discovered something absolutely hilarious. I had the adapter, and I was trying to put it on here to adapt it to my new stereo, and it just wouldn't work and wouldn't work. And I was thinking, what is going on? Why are there 3 cables? Like, does this go together? No, it doesn't. Is it just this way? It just didn't work, right? So I followed this cable back, and I noticed this square box is the same size as my adapter. And I realized, once I unplug these two from each other, this is the original Mazda connector. So basically, to install this radio, Mazda have just done an aftermarket installation. This is an adapter. Look, it just goes in there, and then it adapts to what is on the back of this radio, which is exactly what I'm about to do for my new radio. Found that hilarious. So basically, these adapters and stuff are the way that even OEMs install these radios. Freedom. And this can go in the bin, as mighty car mods say. Let me tell you a little bit about this ATOTO X10. You would not believe me if I told you that this little unit, with its physical buttons, which I love, that was one of the reasons I wanted this one. It has an actual USB port on the fascia. It has an actual mic port on the fascia. It's also got, if I ever wanted to do this, and maybe one day I will, front and rear cameras, double subwoofer outs, all the outs for a real amplifier, SP diff out, HDMI in, so if you want to put a PlayStation in the glove box you can. But would you believe me if I told you this bad boy, ChatGPT built in, AI in a head unit? I don't know why anybody needs this, but it does have it and it's kind of cool. What's also really cool is that this bad boy is super easy to wire up. You get all of these adapters in the box. You get one ISO cable, another ISO cable. These work with different brands. One's marked A, you don't need that one. One's marked B, this is for an MX-5. You also have an ISO cable with every fucking connection. So if you wanted to, you could cut the connector and manually splice every single bloody function of the car. Not doing that. We have this. So it's this simple. This has a standard connector, which is here. That gives us a standard ISO connector. Guess what I have on the end of here? Standard ISO connectors. This is the little adapter. And then this is a Mazda standard that we've got in there. So I have a feeling we should be able to just take this, plug it in, turn the key, and have a working head unit. Let's go test it out. What do you guys think? What's the likelihood of this actually working? Give it a go. If this thing turns on, I'm going to be so happy. Oh my god. It actually works. I've done a thing and it's worked first time. Don't you just love that? We've got Android Auto running, and I'm pretty confident that sounds better than it did with the original stereo. Keep saying searching for GPS. Oh no, it's got GPS. So this is another question I had, right? I think it will make more sense if I show you this. There is this monstrosity, right? So it's got this big fucking GPS antenna, and then this slim one that I think you're meant to hide in here somewhere. I'm never going to use the inbuilt sat-nav on this thing. I'm only going to use Android Auto. And my phone has GPS, so this doesn't need a GPS antenna. Do you know what? Let's test it. I can't even put the handbrake fully down because no one in history has ever done this before. We're going to have 0 head units by the end of this. I can't tell if it's working or not. Right, when we turn left here, we'll figure out if it works. Oh yeah, it works. It knows where I'm going. Oh, I turned on the lights and this went dark. It knows things. If I turn them off, hey! Is that how the head unit knows to be dark or light? That's really cool. I'm just gonna go back home, and I know I don't need to put the poxy GPS thing back in. Okay, we have established I'm not a complete moron. I've actually done a successful thing. Got these plates out, all these screws, thinking I'm gonna have to fuck about with this. They've got little sliders, and oh, this is gonna be a nightmare, right? Stuck the head unit in the fascia. The holes line up perfectly. That's it, I'm basically ready. I did plug in the mic, and I've plugged in my one loom that goes into the car. That's it. Don't need all of this spaghetti. I'm half tempted to cut it all out, but it's kind of all conjoined. So I think what I'm going to do is literally just shove it all back there. Hopefully there's enough space. I think if I was a better mechanic and or audio installer, I would do a better job of that, and I would like cable tie everything and like make it all neat. I'm just going to shove it back there. If you want to do your own radio installation, this might just be the easiest mod I've ever done in my life. Like, that took me, who is an absolute moron and sucks at working on cars. 9 o'clock, what's that? 3 hours? That's phenomenal for me. I suck at this stuff. I'm going to take some time and set it all up properly and get it all working as I want it to, but I'm so happy with that. That looks so nice. Now I just got to put the rest all back together. I cannot help myself. I am like so into modifying cars now. It did take me till 9:30 to get everything done, right? So it's like 3.5 hours. And all I've done is the head unit. But look at it. It looks OEM. It's so good. Just a bit of a review on this ATOTO unit. So I've been using it for about 2 weeks now. It is the smoothest, nicest, best head unit I've ever experienced. I mean, look at this, is like weeks later. Look how fast it still is. You know how some devices, they slow down once you've got a few apps on them and everything else. I've got Android Auto running in the background. We've got our maps. I just wanted to shout out a few of the features that have really made me love this head unit, which is actually the EQ. But this car doesn't have just an EQ. If you go into this master section, the power that you get in here is ridiculous. So I've actually set up a crossover. This car's kind of weird because it has a big woofer in the door and then a tweeter in the door, but it also has 2 speakers between the rear seats. Those are 3.5 inches and they don't sound very good. So what I've done is those rear speakers, I've set up a cutoff at about 200 hertz. What that basically means is those tiny speakers behind the rear seats don't need to play any of the really low frequencies, and it lets them sound a bit better. But down the line, if you have multiple speaker channels, got centers, or you've got subwoofers, you've actually got individual channels for all of this stuff, and you can set crossovers for each one. It's so cool. I've covered this because I don't want to spoil the surprise of the nice things that are under here. Like I say, it's been like 2 weeks since I actually did this stuff, but have a listen to what the sound quality is like now. To have that level of sound quality from tiny little stock speakers is ridiculous. And yeah, that takes a little bit of EQ and a little bit of finagling. You know, getting a better head unit will make the whole car sound better. I mean, you could do a bunch of stuff. Like, you can customize these home screens. There's all these styles for the home screen that you can mess with, and you can set up your own ones too. Yeah, fantastic. I think that's all I really need. Yes, you can, it has other features that I'll, again, never take advantage of. Like, it's got a little SIM card slot. You can put a SIM card in it, and then you don't need to have your phone paired to it to do stuff. Like, look at this. It has a OBD reader app. So if I pair one of my OBD readers to this, I can leave my OBD reader plugged in, and then I can have like live statistics of what's going on with the car and stuff in the screen. The amount of things that this thing can do is just crazy. I don't need all of these features, right? I'm never going to use them, but they are very cool. And I just want to shout out ATOTO, because you would think, like, fundamentally, right, it's just Chinese head unit brand, but they make some really good bloody head units. This is the X10, right? This thing is £600. I do think it's the best head unit I can imagine using. I don't think everybody needs this, right? But if you get the A6 or the S8, I think those are 150 and 300 respectively. I mean, you're going to get all the same features, maybe not the AI stuff, and you're going to have a fantastic head unit to get you where you need to go. All right then, I believe we're going to move on to day 2 and other projects of this and this variety. See you there.